Hello, hello. It's Open House Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies. Hello.
Good morning.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Hi, Maria.
Birthday today.
Oh,
Happy birthday. We pray
Mr.
God bless
Longa.
you. This new year will bring
what are you
you
guys doing
blessings.
today?
Well, we're staying home and social distancing. I left the kids trying to make birthday cards for him this morning.
Are you guys baking home cakes or something?
No,
Nothing
no
like
cake. Even if we're going to have cake, we're eating clean while we're social distancing.
Yeah.
So we said we'll just grate some carrots and cabbage and stuff. And then we'll put it, maybe put a candle on top, and then that will be cake. My children are really upset about no cake.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's nice.
but we're really thankful, you know, in the midst of all the uncertainties,
definitely.
there's good health, long life, and I'm just happy
There are lots
for
of
him.
celebrations,
Thank
birthday
you.
celebrations.
Yeah.
I mean, happy birthday to Mr. Lunge. Would have loved to have a nice party. Today's Thursday. I mean, just nice to do something. But there are lots of birthday celebrations out there, you know, that they cannot.
Someone just clocked 40 today. I think Prince Owa's wife clocked 40
Yes,
today.
yes.
Everybody's just, you know, we're just...
Ooh, somebody sent me a message yesterday. His wife was 40 also yesterday. Goodness, I can't remember. But
Please,
it's
I have
always
banter
important that.
planned.
Okay, what happened?
Okay, what happened to you?
Yes. So, I was going to mention this right from Monday after observing the hospital, the beautiful hospital facility donated by GT Bank. And my thought was, I shared with you that if only, yes, we're rising to the occasion, we're having beautiful hospitals for this case, that we should have that quality of hospitals in our regular general hospitals. And when this thing passes by, can we just wash it and distribute it to all
Proper
the
hospitals.
primary healthcare centers we have in Lagos, so that we can at least upgrade the quality of facility those people have? Because I use general hospitals in Lagos, and I know that those kind of beds are not available there as such. So we would like to have them being shipped there post-COVID. Let's give the attention, the monies, the donations, let it flow into primary healthcare centers and general hospitals. But
Okay,
that's
so
just my thoughts.
I just found the message I was talking about. Pastor Adeyemi Adeniyi, his wife was 40 on Tuesday. He had sent me a message 31st of March. I missed it, but at least happy belated birthday, madam.
Happy birthday.
Happy many
Happy
years,
birthday.
many
I'm
years.
enjoying
too.
my hair.
So, oh yeah, your hair is beautiful.
COVID-19 is making me...
I liked the way you looked
stylish.
yesterday, though.
You
but-
preferred yesterday?
Yeah,
than
I
today?
definitely prefer yesterday's style. It was really
Yeah,
nice.
I love Tokwe's hair, however it is,
Yeah.
because it's so unlike my hair.
That's but how you doing, Mariam, with the kids, activities?
I was
We
seeing
talked
it
about
on
it.
Instagram, okay?
You know now,
They are
we're
rolling
exercising in
tires.
the morning, so we're doing skipping, jogging, everything. I brought some tires out the other day. We're doing gare. I know
for
if you
real?
grew up in Jos, you know that thing now. Everybody was like, I put up the pictures. People were like, you took them back to Jos days. I'm like, yes, they were so excited about it. You know,
Yeah,
every morning
that's
night,
cool.
like I want to roll the tires.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
That's what
All
we're
right, it's
doing.
Thursday today. We're gisting all the way. Nothing
How are
major.
you doing?
I'm doing well. You know, yesterday myself and Brown came to TVC for a walk. Just took a nice walk around
Okay,
because
of
since we
course,
couldn't
it's-
go on the main roads and all that, so it was nice. It's just having a nice walk these days because once you're bored, let's go for a walk. You know, right now it's just boredom, but
had a
we're finding
terrible
small
migraine
activities here
yesterday.
and there for the kids. You
Terrible
know,
migraine.
we're learning proverbs. We did,
how was
yeah.
that?
So,
Okay.
kokoro to ń jẹ̀fọ́, ara ẹ̀fọ́ ló wà, means that, I don't know, well, it means that the issues some people closest to you might be the ones that are causing issues in your life. So you
So
have to be very
literally
careful.
means the ant that bites, that eats up the
I know
leaves
that
on
one.
the leaf.
You know that one?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there's another one that we
Something
learned. Sugar. I'm trying to remember the name. I'm just bad with memory, but I actually have it together.
But it's good. Like now they know what that means, and my kids don't know what. They don't even
You know,
know,
someone
like,
gave us those, because I saw the ones you were doing with
Aki
your kids.
Alabi sent me a
Yes,
link.
those books.
Yeah.
You know, someone gave us those
Yes,
books
yes,
for
yes,
different
yes.
languages.
Yes.
So this is the time actually to bring out
Go back to
those
it.
books. Yeah,
And
so I
there's
got
one-
Hausa books for my
Oh,
kids. Yeah.
nice. And there's one that Femi taught us. Oh, sugar, I can't remember it. Something about Dogba, obviously, but there's a different saying that tells you that life is everybody gets.
Nima when you need her.
Oh, when you knew, right? I just lost. How could I expect my children to remember? And even I can't remember. But yeah, we need to just remember
it
how
comes
to.
by hearing. You say over and over again. So if you teach something yesterday, you take it through again today. By the third, fourth
So
day,
I think that's what we're going to do today. We're going to just review it again. Okay, enough of that. Today's Thursday. We gist today. So we're going to breeze through the front pages of the papers and then talk about how we're faring at home, especially because there was one video that was trending last week. One woman like this, I don't know your name, but she was in the shower. She had her hairnet, and she was there talking about the fact that lots of spouses are home, men are home, women are home now, and then there are no excuses. We would like to hear from married women, especially married men. Those of you that have wives are constantly going out. So we'd like to hear from you today. How are you faring at home? What are the ups and downs happening in your house? But first, let's breeze through the front pages of the paper. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Okay, we're going to start very quickly with The Nation. Foreign returnees import 12 COVID-19 cases into Osun. Nigeria others seek $100 billion debt relief. CBN coalition raised 15.32 billion naira to fight virus. My COVID-19 story by Makinde. Wow. Salawa shares nude photos to block blackmailer. Akira explosion, I didn't know I carried explosives. Okay, let's take the major
The
thing.
foreign returnees.
Yeah. But therefore, I thought they were Nigerians.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, okay.
They
came from
Nigerian,
Abidjan.
they came from Cote d'Ivoire and
Yeah.
they came by road. So they had come through the borders and they were stopped at Ejibo in Osun State. And then they were tested. 14 of them tested positive. And then the remaining 56 persons, they are waiting results. And the government is saying that they are letting those who tested negative to go, and they're keeping those who they're still awaiting results. Those that have tested positive have been sent to the isolation center. And also, I think there's been rumors about people escaping isolation centers. And the government of that state is saying that that center is protected by police and soldiers, is manned properly. Nobody has escaped. Everybody is where they are meant to be, and that the community shouldn't be afraid, because the people these people were actually have not mingled with everyone else in the community, so it's sort of contained. But the number, they have increased the number of COVID-19 this into 174 now.
So Seyi Makinde is speaking up concerning why he is not promoting lockdown within Osun State, saying no, or your state, saying knowing his people that there is no need for a lockdown. Most of people within a state live from what daily income, and that the few cases they've recorded are pretty isolated, and they are doing intensive contact tracing to find everybody involved. He also said personally he's positive, but he's asymptomatic. He's feeling very well. He doesn't feel in any way ill. And so he knows that the market women need to make money on a daily basis. And what they're doing is regularly educating the market women on the importance of social distancing, separating their wares. And he said that we all watch international news, and the few states that, the countries that have been able to successfully stem the rise of this is Czech Republic, and that they didn't do shut down and he locked down. What they implemented was that everybody should wear a mask, and they are looking towards implementing that within Oyo State, that they're trying to domesticate the solution to their own specific problems.
Okay.
So
final story on The Nation. The driver that was carrying the explosive, remember the explosion that happened in Akure? He said he didn't know he had on...
his boss just told him.
His boss just hired him to carry the explosive, I think to deliver to Inedu, I believe.
Yeah,
that was
he was taking it to Auchi,
was
and he had no idea that there were explosives inside the vehicle. He said he was told that the bus broke down, a truck broke down. So he got there, that already moved the things from the broken down truck into his own truck, and he drove it through. A shrapnel hit him inside his stomach. The operation has been done. He's in recovery right now, but he had no idea he was carrying explosives.
So that's got to be a crime to have someone transport such a sensitive material and not let the person.
But they had a police escort. There was a police escort right there.
You also have to make sure you put people who
the
are
escort observed that there was fire under the truck and tried to raise an alarm. He said that the escort then asked them to move away from the residential area. As they were moving, the spark started.
Knew that's what was inside.
Possibly. Moving on to The Punch. Federal government reviews lockdown as COVID-19 cases rise by 35. 2 die as rainstorm wreaks havoc in Ondo, Enugu, Nasarawa. Ekiti court convicts 2 Egyptians, others for flouting lockdown. FG distributes 20,000 naira to 5,000 households in FCT. Olowu ex-AG opposed sighting of isolation center in Obasanjo's hilltop. Mother of 3 jump into Osun River, cites hard times. Nigeria's total public debt rises to 27.4 trillion naira. Ignore new fuel price, IPMAN tells marketers. Okay, let's start with the human interest story.
So
two died in rainstorm.
Yeah, so two persons died in Nasarawa State. They were employees of Nigeria's Farmers Group Cooperative Society. So this is a big farm. They say it's a multi-million naira farm, and it rained in Nasarawa State for about 45 minutes. And during the rainstorm, the employees were trying to move some food produce from a particular building, and the rainstorm washed that building away. 15 of the employees were injured, and sadly 2 of them died. They said similarly in Ondo State, there was another rainstorm, and that one, many houses, churches, mosques were also destroyed in the rainstorm. Remember, I think beginning of this year, they had told us that we should expect rainstorms.
Okay, so I know that the federal government has actually reviewed their lockdown. There are a few new laws put out there asking markets to open from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. daily. Drivers on essential duties must ensure passenger spacing and disinfect their vehicles. Bus services are completely suspended during this period. Borders between Ogun and Lagos are shut down, amongst many other directives that have been given by the federal government.
Another thing the federal government is doing is now disbursing money. So the Minister for Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajia Farouk, said that they're now disbursing 5,000 naira to 1 million.
Okay.
There's money of 5,000 naira to 1 million indigent Nigerians in the country. Started yesterday. And he said the beneficiaries are already within the cash, conditional cash transfer scheme, which was giving them 20,000 naira before, but now they're giving 5,000 naira for this period. So they already have the data from them. They have this 1 million people already registered before who are indigent. They are the ones getting the funds for now.
You know, there was a message passing around
about 20,000
to people to apply if you can prove that your job has been affected or your income has been affected by COVID-19. They can get somebody now to me, she got 10,000. I can't confirm, but I don't know how true. So I started forwarding to everybody I know that I might need this money. Moving on to Vanguard, coronavirus positive man escapes from isolation center. That's a major headline in Vanguard. COVID-19, Obaseki invokes act to lock down Edo. FG begins disbursement of 20,000 naira to 1 million Nigerians. Talked about that. If we ask people to stay at home, we must make them comfortable, says Gbajabia Miller. Presidency mocks Yinka over comments on lockdown, and policemen harassing our members in Lagos, say NME Medical Guild. Okay, let's start with the major headline. Who escaped from COVID-19?
Yes, so isolation center in Bida, Niger State. One of the patients that tested positive actually escaped from the isolation center in Bida. Another person, a returnee from Cote d'Ivoire, simply identified as Alaska, also escaped from isolation center in Osun State. So now they are specifically looking for these people because they said that the challenges they're having is they don't have security all around. They're actually set in Ejigbo and in Bida. So now, how are we going to identify these people because they left the center and they are positive, which means that they can infect other people?
But based on the story that I read, the government is saying that in Osun State that they didn't have anyone escape. So maybe that one is down.
It's a contradictory story.
Okay, I would like to take the story. The Gbajabia Miller actually set up a meeting. What happened was that the video went viral. An actress posted a very emotional video where she was lamenting that there's no light, there's no electricity. In fact, it was quite an emotional video where she was complaining that many people have brought food into the houses and the freezers, all they're having is generators. The freezers are all melted and they cannot actually sustain their family when you can't preserve your food. So, I mean, that video went viral and I think our leaders got a wind of it. And an emergency meeting was called almost immediately. And the Senate, the House of Representatives called up a meeting with the CBN, Minister of Finance, NERC, and a few other stakeholders to discuss and review what they can do to ensure we have gas supply to Gencos and then get it distributed to the discos. So hopefully we should get better electricity supply going forward, especially during this lockdown, because I mean, you can't have people stay at home and not make
I mentioned it yesterday that I had 2 hours of power supply all through Tuesday. But the NME, the chairman of the Nigerian Medical Association, the Medical Guild states, the chairman said, his name is Olujimi Shodipo, made a statement that the police officers are harassing medical officials even during this lockdown, that they are exempted and so they should be allowed to have free movements, but they are being harassed. So the CP, the statement was said to the CP that the CP of police, that's Mr. Akim Odumosu, was now replying that if they have the identification, there shouldn't be any problem with medical officers that are involved in giving essential services during this period. So I think that implementation needs to be watched so that no police officer is taking advantage of the lockdown.
There have been quite a
to
few
harass
videos
people.
of police officers and soldiers actually harassing citizens. So, you know, people, you get a small power like this, before you know it.
These are medical officers. They are essential duties. We need them. Apart from COVID-19, there are people that have regular sicknesses that they need doctors. So we can't be using, this is not the time to be flexing muscles.
Moving on to Daily Sun. Malami writes heads of court on time-bound cases. FGO case 4-hour food sales daily. Let's find a story we've not taken. Ipman threatens strike over fuel price reduction. Claims marketers lost 5.5 billion naira in last reduction. Undo begins fumigation of markets and motor parks. So let's take the story.
So Ipman has threatened strike. It said that the government put a reduction in the price of petroleum. I think at first it was 125, and he said that it did that without consideration of the marketers. And most of them have to borrow from banks to, to finance their businesses. And then when you cut down these prices, they are at a loss and they have to pay back these loans. And then the government further reduced this price again. And he says, well, they've had a meeting with all their members and they're just sticking to the 125. It says that government needs to put, and NMPC needs to put all these things into consideration, that they bought these products when they was really expensive. Let them sell off these ones first.
While I feel very, very sensitive and I feel compassionate for them and their plight, the point is if the price was going up, there wouldn't be any complaints. They would immediately raise the prices. I know someone that has a filling station in the Bumosho that said he lost over 800,000 naira when the price dropped and he had to comply. But the bigger filling stations, they came to measure what they had in stock before going to implement the new prices so that they can give them a shortfall. So the government already gives a bit of moratorium for those that have stock on ground, but it should trickle down to everyone, even those that have a little filling station.
These are tough times for everybody, so I think they should.
Ipman is losing. They're losing a lot of money. They should consider them.
All right. Unfortunately, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. All we're talking about this week is COVID-19. We're still on COVID-19, but this time on the softer level. You know, let's relax on this. Big stories. So when we come back, we'd like to open our phone lines to those of you at home with your spouses. Maybe you have a wife that goes to work from maybe 5 a.m. She's out of the house, and then she doesn't get back until like 9 p.m. And now during this lockdown, she's here. Is she irritating you? Are you enjoying the company? What are the new things you're doing? Or on the flip side, is your husband is a politician. Today, Abuja, tomorrow, London, then they are going to Japan, then can you come? But now they are all home. In fact, and I call politicians now. First call, they don't pick up. I say, oh, guy, you're in the house. Yes, I am in the house. All right, let's go on the break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So it is an uncertain time with COVID-19, coronavirus around the world, and experts are giving advice around reducing the spread of this virus. In the meantime, we're wondering, how are you coping at this, with your spouse and your family members? Those of you that have older people in the homes, your parents, your loved ones. Should our love cycle be locked down during this period, or should we be exercising self-isolation such that, for that, stay in that room, stay in this room? Join the conversation on 070-8066-8014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. So while trying to get some of these our leaders to talk to us, I mean, I spoke to one recently, and I was trying to get him, and while I was talking to him, his wife would keep talking in the background. You could hear family conversation in the background. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just like, no, my side, it's okay. It's, you have your family, it's all right. He said, no, let me go somewhere quiet. But you see, they're not used to that kind of situation where they're constantly with family, hearing kids run up and down. And for me, it was refreshing to speak to him in that kind of situation. But in your own cases, how has it been having to see your spouse every single second?
We're not seeing every single second.
Okay, what are you doing?
We're not seeing every single second because I'm here and...
Only here for a few hours.
Yeah, and the remaining hours we're keeping busy you know, so it's not like every single second, really. And I think that I've been in that, what they call the PMS. So I'm pretty cranky right now, and I know that I've been just giving it to everybody around a bit too much, you know. But there's a saying online that we're going to be having coronation, coro babies by December, January, end of December, early January, into like.
So any baby that is born with
Any baby, we know when you did it.
Yeah.
We know how you have been doing the lockdown. But it's been good news. Many people are saying that they're enjoying themselves.
I think for me, we're enjoying ourselves. The kids love it. They're like,
Yeah,
hey, so
I'm
mommy and
telling
daddy
you.
at home together
Yeah,
every day.
I'm telling
So there's that. But there's also times where, you know, you as adults, you need to take some space. So my husband escapes sometimes. You not just see him. And then he'll be like, I'm busy. I'm like, busy doing what? But I get it because even I want that space. But especially from the children want to just be inside you. I mean, sometimes like they want to go into your womb again. Like,
Just see like
give me
3
space.
kids sticking on you. One is here, one is here. I'm like, can I get some room, please? You know?
So that happens with me majorly. So you hear my husband say, give her some space. Let her. Like, I feel really sorry for you. You know, they're like appendages when you're moving each step. But, you know, for us also, we have like a timetable. So it's easy to follow that routine. So in the morning,
And what timetable, mommies?
so in the morning, that exercise time. And then we have school time. So from 10 till 12, you do books, you read your books and do whatever, and the work that they've given us from school. Then from 1 till 2 is lunchtime, playtime, Ludo time, card time. Then from 2 to 4, books again. Then from 4, it's, you know, free time. And then recently, DSTV has a new channel for kids. So all the elementary school, all the schoolwork is on TV.
Oh, my
so you
son
can just
found
go
it.
and get,
I got home yesterday and he said, there's a new channel.
Yeah.
You have the normal mindset and now you have mindset
Set
pop.
prop. Yeah.
Okay, you had,
And
so
so-
thank you
Yeah,
for reminding us of our competitions. But yeah, interesting though. But for me, I mean, the interesting part is that they always want to come into your room. You know, me and my husband, we like our room time, just be in our room. They will leave this downstairs and just come inside. I said, what are you doing here? Go and sit down. Go and watch TV. No, it is in your room they want to be.
Yeah.
So when my husband just said, you know, bring in their mattress. Just brought in their mattresses, put it on
the
the floor.
floor.
Let us all cook will be here. So they are there till morning and they just hang out and gist and talk and you just hear their conversations, how they resolve issues amongst themselves. So it's really interesting though. But I would like to hear from wives and husbands who are not used to having their spouse around this much. Have they been getting under your skin? I mean, are you enjoying the company? I would like to really know your thoughts.
So for me, it's the kids.
It's the kids. Your own is the
love-
kids.
Yes, I love being with, I don't mind being with my husband, like, let's just be together and all of that. But you have children, and in that, when you now have to, and the responsibilities, the children, like, I can't tell my husband, go and drink cornflakes or something, and he will sort himself, but now you have to cook for the kids, and even when you're not cooking, you need to sort them out. There's internal quarrel. Oh my God. It is the fighting. They are fighting. He took my toy, and then the little one, my 3-year-old, would throw, the 4-year-old now, he would throw the toy, he would throw it somewhere, then he'll start crying, and then that for me is the, and I maybe somebody will call in to say something different, but why is it that when children are crying and complaining, they cry to the mother?
Oh, yes.
And they don't cry to the father. And we're both sitting down watching TV, but you cry to me to resolve the issues. Until we're able to resolve that, one person is responsible for the children, one responsible for finances, it puts a lot of burden on the mother.
Okay, let me take this call from Moshood. Moshood, are you there?
Yeah.
Thanks for calling. So tell us what's different now.
Hello?
Yes, you're live. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning, Moshood.
Yeah.
What's different now? Tell us.
I really appreciate you guys, what you are doing there. You are doing a great job.
Thank you, Moshood.
You're welcome.
Tell us about,
Oh.
yeah.
My own is far different between how we cope in the house.
Yes.
My own is, my observation is government. They are failing woefully.
Okay.
I'm telling you, because some people, their work is based in their daily basis.
Yes.
So how can they cope in this kind of
Lockdown.
COVID-19? I'm telling you, we don't talk about this. government needed to wake up now to help the citizens. We had cases of positive patients run from isolation center, and some are not get tested. I mean, this country, do you think we are safe?
I can get
Thank
your
you very
worry.
much. I can feel your pain.
Yeah, see, and there are a lot of things we'll see in good times, in bad times. There will be positives and there will be negatives. And I think in the news, the papers every day, we see all these things, but sometimes we want to create, you know, like a little space where we are concentrating on the positive. So I can tell there are many things that the government is not doing right, but there are some things that they are getting right. And at least for today, for this moment right now, let's just concentrate on the positives and concentrate on our families. We understand these Nigerian problems, they'll be there, and we'll talk to government officials to handle them. But right now, let's just see how we can concentrate on our families and the good we can get from there.
You have any tweets?
Yes, I got a message from someone. He said, my husband is a weekend husband. That we've been married for 20 years and we've lived this way almost from the beginning of our marriage. I'm used to having my time during the week, and my husband is but now my husband is at home full time, and he asks for breakfast at 7 a.m. while everybody is still sleeping. There are so many areas of friction due to the close down. So things are tough in this household.
Don't breakfast at 7 a.m.
Okay.
Apparently, maybe.
What's our own routine? My husband gets up and he does his coffee. Like, nobody does his coffee for him. There's nothing special about it, but he has to make it himself.
Right.
And then gets ready. The children get breakfast much later. So we don't have, at least the dynamic in my house, we don't have one person insisting on making sure another
There's
person,
food.
yes, there's food, as long as the children eat and they're fine. So what the problem is now is the children. You need to find a way to make sure that they're not eating constantly. Because if you leave those children, your 2-week lockdown food will be
We've done in
finished
1
in
week.
hours. So we just try to make sure that they get,
They're constantly snacking.
Yes, they're
Mommy, I want
constantly
to eat
snacking.
something.
Can I just
Mommy, I'm
eat
hungry.
this?
Like, you just had lunch. Mommy, I'm hungry.
Have they done this to you? So they'll ask me for something, and I'll give
yeah.
it to them. Hours later, they'll ask their dad.
Yeah.
And then, like yesterday, my husband was like, but you just asked me for that. I was like, oh, Daddy, you're not supposed to say it out.
Let me take this call from Adisa. Adisa, are you there?
Yeah, good morning, Mariah.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I want to toe the line of the last caller. I don't want to discuss much about family matter because the situation of the country does not even encourage that. And then when Mariam said the government are getting some things right, I'm yet to understand what the government are getting right. Now, let me make my point. Some of the analyses are theoretical in nature. Your guests that came yesterday were discussing about family matter that does not work in Africa here, when people does not even have 10,000 naira in their account. Now, the government are busy sharing some rice in Agege, one place, Ministry of Agriculture. If this government, if they wanted to collect VAT, stamp duty, they have everybody's account. But now to be responsible to the citizens, they don't know our account anymore. Can you imagine if the president, the vice president, the Senate, all the senators, the reps members of the National Assembly of every state and the governors can forgo their totality payment of monthly basis? They won't die. They won't die. And then the people are just hungry here. They can't give people stimulus. What is starting?
So Thank you very much. We'd like to since you're taking us in that direction, and I'd like us to, because obviously we have to feel the pain of Nigerians. This is obviously what they want to talk about, the fact that you are giving palliatives, but for some reason it's not getting to the people they should be getting to, either because it's not properly organized and the distribution channels are not being done properly. So we're having issues with Nigerians saying, so some are saying the government is doing the best they can, others are saying they're not seeing it. So we need to find that middle ground, and I can understand what our callers are going through. Yes.
For me, personally, I don't think the government is doing the best they can. I think that there's an improvement in what they are doing as compared to the kind of quality of government's relatability we've had before. So the expectations I expect from my government is more than what I'm getting. And Mariam was saying that she sent a picture to the group of what the relief material was. It was too small. it didn't make sense that no, you can't expect someone to. I was telling her that no, that can't be for 2 weeks. That's like maybe for a day, because really we are not connecting with the heart of the people. And on the show today, we're supposed to go live. We're supposed to tell people that okay, see, let's just discuss family issues.
Yeah.
Let's say that okay, life is stressing you, government is stressing you. Go and stay in the room with your wife, and husband and wife stay together.
And you don't want to make more babies.
No, you can. You can. That can be a good distraction,
see,
legitimately.
okay,
but hungry people would want food,
Let's go
and there are many hungry people right now. So we really can't ignore that.
I like us to open our phone lines to hear what Nigerians are going through. I think that's let's not force them to talk about family. Let's just hear what they're going through.
Okay.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So, related to what our past two callers have said, we would like to show this video that was been trending online about, I think it was on the front pages. There's been a video actually trending online about Adame calling on the restoration of power, especially for people who have according to her, they've used all their savings to stock up. And now many of these things are going bad in the freezers because we don't have electricity. And then immediately when I saw that video, the thing that I thought about was Tope saying 3 hours of electricity. I know that we've also had to turn on our generator almost throughout the day. Now, as you said earlier, hey, we are used to NEPA issues. Yes, that's our reality. However, you're asking us to stay home.
No escape.
We can't escape to the office and get 5-6 hours of a cooling air conditioner, or we're home. How do you expect us to become? So I'd like to hear Nigerians' thoughts on what you're going through in the houses right now. But let me come to you first, Mariam.
Okay. Yeah, so I saw the video as well, and I thought she made a very good point, which is you can't ask people to stay at home and then there's no electricity. And I found it quite curious to see almost immediate response from the Speaker of the House of Reps.
They're home.
Yeah, so they're home. There are no distractions. So it's just teaching us a lot of things, that when you have less distractions, when you don't have to be traveling up and down the world, and you're sitting there and listening to people, you're able to immediately attend to their needs. And he sat down, he had a very important meeting with very important people who will be able to, affect this. And that's a good thing. And it was good that she was able to, I think the way she said it really connected with a lot of people.
Mariam, thank you for taking it, because I asked the question on my Twitter yesterday, and I said, post-COVID, how is life going to be for Nigerians? Our leaders, how are they going to lead? What they're going to prioritize? Now, there are no distractions. You call a leader and he picks up the call immediately. He's ready to listen to his people.
Yeah.
So, post-COVID, everything has died down. What are our expectations generally? Even churches are different. The way deliverance services here, healing services here, those
So
things
we can actually do without vigils every day.
People do vigil on healing issues. And now we're having COVID-19. And
Nobody's doing
so the
any
point is
vigil.
that, are we going to see life totally different? Now, you've not seen your spouse in months because of you're working. But now, COVID's got you locked down. Post-COVID, how are you going to fix or continue that marriage? So there's so
Before
many
we
things
even
we
go
start discussing.
post-COVID, within the COVID, within this period, many issues in marriage are becoming more obvious now because you are both having to deal with each other, and the issues that you could run away from, I'm going to the office, I'm going to the go somewhere now, you can't go anywhere, you're facing it. When it comes to power issue, before I saw Adame's video, I already came here and I said, we don't have power. There's no electricity. It's worse off even right now. And because we are stuck at home, I need to power the gen all through the day. We're going to buy petrol over and over again. Like, you can't, this is me that can even afford it for now. Imagine the many people that can't. What would they do? There's a lot of frustration ongoing to topple with this situation on ground. It's not conducive. And so the government should be aware of how hard things are on their citizens.
I'm glad that they're working on this one now.
Mariah, when they say you're working on something, it's nothing. When you say I'm working on something, when you say
the
you're
article.
working on something, you have not done anything.
Okay.
We hear all these things. They will launch a probe and you don't hear anything about it again. Because usually during the day, we can understand that there's diversion of power to industries. They'll say we're diverting powers to manufacturing, industries, and where companies are, and then we give power to residential areas during the day. Now, nobody is at work. So residential areas should be prioritized in terms of when you're rationing power supply to these people. We're waiting to see what can be done. It's obvious that some areas can have 24 hours. People have 20 hours power supply right now. So obviously there's a way they are doing their sharing ratio that is not taking into cognizance that everybody is locked out at home.
There's something that I also noticed, which is maybe going forward, like having residential areas separate from work area. So I realized that there's less generator sound in my estate. And it's because the offices are closed. So the offices would run the generator during the day. So constantly you would have that. But now, because they are not, you know, the lockdown, they are not at work, you don't have those big gens going off. And I think going forward, the government should look at it and making sure that residential area is strictly residential so that people can live, can think. You hear people say, oh, I can actually hear the birds right now, or I can see and even across the world, they're talking about how clear the air is and how the sky is. People are saying they can finally see the stars and the moon, you know. And it's making us realize what is more important in life. It's not really about that rat race, chasing money, chasing it down.
Let me take this call from Golan. Golan, are you there? Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, it's actually really a terrible situation, but about this COVID issue. But my concern about it is just people involved, the government, World Health Organization, should just try find solutions. Because truly, even if you are trying to prevent things, people will still eat, no matter what. People are not going to die of hunger. You understand? So we really hope for a solution for it. And aside from that, a lot of people complain about Nigeria and say, oh, in the Western world, everything is this, everything is that. You know, we are all in this mess together. No matter what it is there, I have a lot of people down there, they complain still. And we cannot compare the present situation of Nigeria to those places. The only solution we need is just for there to be a solution, for there to be a deal, or for there to be a vaccination. Because they too, they don't really have the ultimate capacity to really do it, because we were all caught unawares. You get it? So I really pray for a solution, and because if it gets beyond certain, like 4 or 5 months, then it's going to be hunger.
Golan, let me ask you a question. Where are you?
Yeah.
Where do you live?
Lagos.
In Lagos. Are you staying with your family?
Yeah, I stay with my family.
So since the lockdown, what have you been doing with your family?
There are a lot of homeworks. The schools are sending down.
I'm talking about your spouse.
Into our
we know the children. We know the children. I'm talking about your spouse. Are you having a conversation with her?
Yeah, we have a conversation. Though it hasn't been like this. Most of the time, I don't always stay in Nigeria. So I came back before this issue of pandemic. So it's a little different case for me. But notwithstanding, if I come around like this most of the time, we do things like, oh, we have to go this, we have to go there.
Are you irritating her, or is she irritating you?
You said?
Are you irritating her, or is she irritating you?
No, we don't do that. No, just I cook, she cook, I wash, she does that. But the main issue is the boy, is my son.
Okay.
He doesn't really see me so much like that. So, most of the questions bring it to me, and, we solve it together.
Oh, fantastic.
No, it's interesting, so to say.
That's nice. Good to hear from that. That's the angle I'd like to talk about today. Thank you so much, Bolan.
Bolan said something that isn't true.
Yes.
He was saying that hunger nobody would die of hunger. The truth, really, we might not say nobody would die of hunger, but people are hungry. My house is, anyone that knows my house knows that I have like 15 security Hausa men in front of my house per time. It's like a depot. All the Okada riders can't walk for now. So they are all sitting down. They are looking. You wake up in the morning and you come into my house and you see all of them just looking, sitting down like this. How long do you think what they have in their house would last? Because they live every day. They ride that bike, collect the money, pay the bike person, and feed themselves. So now for the past 3 days, they haven't done any of that. So how long would the money they have with them on? How long? They don't have a fridge.
So these are
they don't have a refrigerator. They can't store their food. So it's more like it's every day. If I don't buy that meat today, the meat is not there tomorrow. I can't eat it. So, and there are a lot more of those people out there than we are observing.
So I guess that is why government came up with the revised lockdown procedure, which is opening the markets from 2 till
10 a.m.
From 10 a.m. till 2 in the afternoon. And even though I get that on the one hand, which is we need for people to be able to get to the markets and feed themselves, the other part is that doesn't that now make the essence of the social distances, the social distancing is to stop us from congregating and meeting and then and flattening the curve, as they say. And what would that do to our fight against this?
Let me take this call from Bridget Okwaba. Good morning, Bridget. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Good morning.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you. You guys are really doing a great job.
Thank you, Bridget. Tell us what's been happening since COVID-19 lockdown.
Okay, so what I want to bring out is those food they said they had been distributing, they mentioned they distributed to Agege. Agege has not gotten anything yet.
Okay.
The streets opposite Ministry of Agriculture, they take the food and pass and go to Epe. Most of those streets have not gotten food at all. They've not gotten anything. We have pensioners here. We have people that need to eat. They really need to eat. They pass the streets and they go and give people food at Epe. If they know they don't know how to organize it, they should get event planners. Event planners can organize these things for them.
That's true. That's very true. One of, as I said yesterday, one of the major problems we're having in this country is organization. We are not organized doing elections, doing anything at all. We don't even know how to line up. I don't know even how they line up at the bus terminals. They've started like they line up at the buses, so I'm surprised. But how do you get people to line up to get something? Because people are saying
politicize the distribution of food. That's something that we noticed happened. You can't be politicizing the distribution of palliatives. It should be handled by independent, maybe logistic companies, maybe an independent professional should handle it. Because when you politicize it, people will start calling their ward leader.
They just feel like the politicians can handle it. That we know,
no, they
can't.
Yeah, so this is I think it's a good tweet. Austin D1 says, it is impossible for Nigerian government to deal with issue of poverty caused by COVID-19 because they do not have a record of its citizens who are unemployed, self-employed, or daily earners. It is time for us as a country to have data. So, you know, that is another problem. We have, with the countries like America and countries in Europe, these are countries that even had a system. They had data and they are struggling. I'm just, you know, concerned. I really wanted to have this today's conversation to be lighthearted. But if you scratch a little bit beneath the surface, you know that there's a problem. Even in the good times, even before COVID-19, we were struggling. And now we have this. And so I guess that's why Nigerians are a bit, you know, concerned. Like, there's no way you can make sure you're distributing food, but you do not have the data to make sure that these people
which is what people are saying, that you must localize your solution. Because you're sitting there watching CNN, watching Fox News, and seeing all the palliatives, stimulus package, they're doing this, and you're like, oh yeah, let's lock down, let's lock down. You want to do exactly the same thing. Well, you've not localized that problem, neither have you localized the solution, such that here, unfortunately, we don't have that kind of huge breakout of COVID-19. Yes, we have 171, that's a lot, but at the same time, we don't have what they're dealing with in New York, for example. So we in that case, we need, the way we give our palliatives should be such that understanding that our daily earners are the ones.
Which is why when I read
that have that problem.
You know, that argument also could be said that the reason why you have huge numbers in New York is that they're doing more testing than you're doing in Nigeria. We cannot say for sure how many people have COVID-19.
We've been talking about that this all week versus last week. And it also seems as though, this is also conspiracy theory, please don't quote me, that many Nigerians have it. And somehow they're treating themselves in their own houses. Somehow because they are using various remedies such that they have mild or they're asymptomatic. So within their own houses, they've treated themselves and they're actually fine. They understand the self-isolation. So maybe that's why we don't have that huge spread in Nigeria. Let me take this call. I'll come to you, Tokwe. Good morning. Are you there? Austin from London. Thanks for calling. Go ahead. Austin, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I want to contribute to the topic that is on right now. I've been trying to reach you guys for quite some time. I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. Like the last caller mentioned, I don't think you don't need to compare the Western world with Nigeria, because the Western world, their infrastructure has been built a very long time ago. I think for we that live abroad, we know the way it is there. Yeah, everything is okay, but not 100% okay.
Right.
Because in terms of Nigeria, the light issue is a really big problem. They are asking people to stay at home without providing the basic amenities for them. How are they going to cope with the outbreak?
Right.
How are they going to cope? How is Nigeria going to cope?
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Austin, for your call.
So,
The light issue, I'm also wondering water issue. I know people would buy water in some areas, and I'm wondering if that is better.
Still buying. We're still buying at the end of the day. We're still buying. But to what Mariah was saying in terms of the fact that we're not getting enough testing done and all of that, we need to be grateful to God that the situation is the way it is here, because even over there, the complaint is that people are working in presenting major symptoms. We're not having that much breakout here. And I like what Oyo State did, which is to say, I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon with every other state by locking down. I hear states that don't have any case locking down. You have a state where your economy is basically everyday income, you're locking down. You have a case where your state has only just one and you're locking down. I'm like, okay, lock down, but how are you feeding your people? So when Oyo State Governor I first read the headline, my reaction was that I think you should lock down. But when I read the breakdown of the thought behind why he hasn't implemented a lockdown in his state, I could understand. As long as we're finding a domesticated solution to our problems, because we can't compare ourselves with developed worlds. We don't have the same thing they have. They can lock down, they can stock their fridge and know that their things will not get spoiled. I am having to check my freezer every day to be sure it's still manageably frozen. So, and that's me that even has a freezer. How many people have freezers? How many people have fridges in their house? So while we're thinking about this, let's also offer solutions to our governors, because really they haven't shared any palliative to my security men. And I am the one giving palliative. My neighbors are giving palliative by giving food to them on a daily basis. So while we're waiting for the government to bring the palliatives close to home, we as individuals that have smartphones can tweet what we are seeing as society, that I have this neighborhood, though they don't have means of livelihood. Can you visit them? We haven't got anything yet. We can also do our own part, because we're all at home. We can stroll to the next neighbor and just ask, have you gotten anything? Are they bringing anything here? Because if we don't give them the feedback, they don't have a way to understand what is going on in your locality. They don't have their eyes on ground enough.
I was going to read a message from the NERC Compliance Commissioner on Compliance, Mr. Akpanayi, when he was speaking to the Speaker of the House of Representatives, saying that we know that there's a demand for power during this lockdown for residential, but most industries are locked down during this period. So they will be sharing, releasing new guidelines and sanction electricity companies that can't show empathy during this period. So I think they'll send out new guidelines to help ensure that discos are able to ensure they share the load properly this time around. So go ahead, Maria.
Okay, Vivacious Vichy says, please, can you address the issue of our lecturers who have not been paid since February salary? Please invite someone to talk on this. So the reason I picked this one was I know that there's an issue with the IIPIS and some lecturers insisting not to join that. So maybe at least one of those, this lecture, yes, those ones have not been paid, and it's because they have refused to join the payment scheme.
All right,
so
let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll open our phone lines and more tweets. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. All right, so when we started this show, we really wanted to hear Nigerians' experiences during this period, but it seems that Nigerians are really worried about the palliatives. So I got a message from Mr. Tunde Ojo, who is saying that churches, mosques, and landlord-tenants associations are some of the outlets governments could use to distribute the palliatives. So obviously, people are not happy that it's not getting to the right people. In some cases, yes, they're getting it, and most cases, they're not. So our appeal, therefore, is to government to ensure they can engage these entities to see what they can do. Because if your churches contact you and say, okay, let's come in batches, maybe men's fellowship, children's fellowship, organize yourself. We have that organization within ourselves. Even the mosques can do the same thing. So maybe they should look at these institutions to see what they can do to help ensure that the right people get these items. But moving on to what we started off with initially, how families are faring during this period. I'd like to take a few tweets from Mariam. Go ahead, please.
So Gigi says, staying at home with my spouse has been challenging, but I'm handling everything accordingly to bring out fun and peace in every moment of this lockdown. And then Mobolahan says, this is best time for sweet collabo between husband and wife. Now that side chicks are on holiday, leaving the real owners of husbands to own their men, the couple should use the lockdown to iron out differences and forge together as one. Tessie says, I don't know if this is appropriate. She says, I've been doing the other thing in the other room back to back. But recently, I realized I've been sleeping too much when it's time for action. Could it be that my wife has been sedating me to avoid the action in the other room, planning to avoid eating at home?
Let me take this call from Timitokwe here. Timitokwe, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Please, I want to make comments about this federal government, relief. Yes. I want to make comment about this federal government relief.
Well, all ears. Go ahead, please.
Package.
Yes. Go ahead. We can hear you very clearly.
I saw a post online
where
the Minister for Humanitarian and stuff.
Right.
The woman was sharing money. I don't know how true it is, but
online, these online things. I don't know. I can't confirm that story, but we see so many things online.
Yeah.
In fact, we need to really
So
help Nigerians understand that it's not everything you see online that is right. Somebody can dig up a video from years back of maybe somebody sharing money and suddenly say, oh, that's during campaign period. Then I say, oh, that's what they are doing in this area or in that area. So we need to be very, very sure. We can't confirm that story, Mr. Emmanuel. I do apologize. Yes, any more tweets?
Yeah, along the line of what they're doing at home. This person says, I have been trying to get my hubby to work out since forever, but now it became very easy since no rushing to office. So, I mean, families are getting involved one way or the other.
I think there are many issues that people are having opportunity to discuss. And I think that this can be a time to resolve every pent-up issue within the household. Like couples that have been having their marital challenges can now face the issue. It's easy to evade and say, I'm going to work, I'm busy and all of that. But this is time for us to let's bond this marriage. Let's make this marriage work. Maybe you're on the fringe of divorce. You can now say, what can we do to make things better and deal with the issue? Maybe you're having wayward parents, wayward children. You can say, what can we do? As in, this is the time to face it.
I hear you. That was our intention. But from our callers so far, people are going through pain right now. And I really, really want them to open. I would really, really like to hear Nigerians calling because we have our leaders that listen to this show. And it's important, let's use this opportunity to get what you're going through, especially those who are daily earners. The Okada riders, the market women. If you're a market woman, you're watching, please call us. We need to know the areas that these palliatives haven't reached, not just in Lagos State, across the state, especially in FCT. And I think Ogun State, and a few other states that we had total complete lockdowns. So we'd like to really hear from you as that what is going on, what happened, if you got anything at all. I'm going to go on a break. We'll give you some time to call in. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Okay, I think I have a call. Good morning. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Yes, thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
How are you today?
Very well.
Good. Let me just make it brief.
Yes.
First of all, let me make this point. Morayo, I want you to do whole Nigeria a favor by asking question, what is the real cause of this COVID-19?
Okay.
Nobody have never asked that question. Because if we lock everyone in, and eventually the real root cause of this sickness has not been identified, what will make you to show that after everybody be locked out, and people will still pick the symptoms or pick the sickness from somewhere else. The whole world have never even talked about what is the root cause of this sickness. All they are talking about is contagious of it, how people will contact it from individual or whatever. But what are the root cause of this sickness? Let us tell where they find out and they tell us what is the cause of this sickness.
There's been very many conspiracy theories. Some say it's from the lab, some say it came from animals. There's been so many stories out there. As I said, we cannot confirm all these various conspiracy theories. But we will wait until everything has died down and hopefully proper investigation is carried out and we now have proper leading to exactly what caused the virus. But what is important is how we're dealing with it and how we're ensuring that our people are not infected and we're not having the kind of avalanche they're having in other parts of the world, which is really, really important.
Did you see the video of people at Yaba that were dancing and they had this placards?
Okay, at the isolation
center. At the
center.
isolation center in Yaba, thanking the healthcare workers, the cleaners, and expressing gratitude to the government for the healthcare they are getting, and also imploring that we that are healthy stay home to prevent them having, to prevent us from experiencing what they have gone through in the isolation.
But again, international, copy and paste. But the point is, people are saying that more people die of malaria daily in this country than we've seen COVID-19, that we have real serious cases.
People die from Lassa.
People die from Lassa fever back to back in the same country.
So
this is part of the conspiracy theories we might have to have a conversation on post-COVID. Because why is COVID getting so much attention? Some are saying follow the money.
It's the rate of the contagion.
People are saying that there are people that are saying we are just copying what they're doing internationally. That because we have bigger problems in this part of the world, they might not have that kind of problems. Now that's another argument. Another argument is saying that we don't have the subset of the population that is affecting the older people. We don't have that here. Here, our old people, 60, 70, many of our, how much of our population are between 70 and 90. So the truth is that we have a huge youth population. So there are different arguments up and down that why are we taking this much measures on a virus that might not kill us as much?
Yeah.
So, hey.
If we look at it with malaria, there have been different scientific research that's gone into treatment for malaria and how to prevent malaria. So there's that. But with COVID, it's a new disease. It's a new virus. We're unsure of what it is or how much the damage will be. So first of all is like stop and see, and hear what the scientists are finding out. So to compare it with malaria, that's reaching for me, in my own opinion. The things with, like, when it was Lassa fever, I understand that. When we had Ebola, there was proper information sent out there. And, proper response was done. So we shouldn't look at everything. Well, you know me, I'm not the conspiracy theorist kind of person.
Let me take Dr. Patrick from Abuja. Good morning, Dr. Patrick. Are you there?
Hello, I'm here.
Thanks for
Dr.
calling.
Patrick Dakun from Abuja here.
Yes, go ahead, sir. Thanks for calling.
Well, I think it's been very interesting watching this program, and I'm very excited to be part of it for two reasons. One, you are talking about family, and then secondly, you are talking about viruses, areas that I'm very, very interested in. My contribution is as follows. Number one is I think everybody needs to understand that we are in an emergency mode. And being in an emergency mode, we need to cooperate with all the directives or all the guidelines that government is providing. One may ask, why do we need to cooperate? I'll give you a clear statistics of where we need to. From the U.S., first case of death was just about 5 or 6 weeks ago. By today, there are over 2,000 people that are getting to almost 4,000, between 4,000 and 5,000 that have passed on. And we are at the beginning of that curve. We have 2 deaths. And if we really, really want to keep our population together and reduce this mortality, then...
Dr. Patrick, I'm going to keep you on till the end of the show because you're a doctor. I mean, you might be able to help us in some of these conversations we're having. You're comparing us to New York. And I was saying before you came on that is it fair to compare Nigeria to a state like New York? Because, for example, we have we know factually that COVID-19 affects mostly those with underlying health conditions and people who are elderly, right? Now, we're saying that in this part of the world, our elderly, first of all, are not like those outside where they're actually still pretty active. They go to work. They go do their groceries. Here in our part of the world, our elderly stay home. They usually send their younger ones to go to the groceries. They don't really go have much active life. They're just home usually. Is it right for us to say that we will have to prevent the kind of New York spread, we're taking the kind of measures New York is taking in Nigeria? Is it the right approach?
Well, let's put it this way. While we are looking at what is happening over there, are you there?
Yes, we can hear you very clearly. We're listening.
While we may look at the epidemiology or the people that are affected over there as belonging mostly to the older age group, why don't we begin to learn from what we are seeing here? In Nigeria here, who are the people that are currently on admission? What is their age range? Let's remember that when we talk about disease, mortality is one end, meaning death, and we don't want to get to that. But morbidity has a lot of impact on everything that we do. And therefore, we have a responsibility right now to reduce the morbidity, even if we predict that the mortality is not going to be as high as it is in New York. So already here, the age range of people that are on admission is in their 30s and early 40s. Yes, the mortality are people that are older, people with underlying conditions. But remember that eventually, if we allow this virus to continue, everybody is going to get back home. Everybody is going to visit an old one. An old person may visit you. So are we saying that we should go on the way we are since people are not dying so that we eventually will infect the elderly that are in our community and they die? I don't think that's the direction we want to go.
Thank you very much.
So I think that whatever the guidelines are, let us listen, let us carry them out. Let me give you one final example. I know I'm taking a little time. I remember one time that we were told that a lion had already come out had escaped from the zoo on the plateau. And people were wondering, what do we do? No government needed to tell people to stay indoors. In fact, from Abuja here, we were calling all our relations. We said, where are you? Get back home, get back home. There is a lion outside. I think let us look at it that way. Until this is contained, why don't we obey all the guidelines? It is just for a short time.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Already
Patrick.
I hear in your program, somebody has already mentioned the fact that we should be one another's keeper. Why don't I look at what I can do for my neighbor, look at what I can do for that person at the security gate, and let us together just contain this virus.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Patrick. We appreciate you being on the show this morning. So those who are then flouting the orders, the stay-at-home orders, we saw videos, people, saying that their state governments are trying to get money like Lagos State. That's why they are bringing up all these measures. You know, people are now looking for the political angle that, what is all this? They're hearing conspiracy theories. But now, those for Nigerians who are flouting this order, what would we like to say to them? Because many of them don't agree. They feel that, listen, we're wasting our time. We want to go out there. The soldiers are now having trouble keeping people at home. They are watching TV right now. I'm happy that they've spoken to Dr. Patrick has said a few things, but it's important they also hear from you. I'd like you to
stay home. Listen to what the government is saying and stay home. You don't understand the extent of this. And you remember, I think we talked earlier this week about a particular person who went to the mosque and churches and using the scripture to teach people, you know, the importance of staying home, like during a plague like this. And so people are expected to be, maybe we need to find better ways to reach people. And I know that the government is doing that with the different languages in which they are sensitizing people. So your local languages. Then I saw, there's this video that went around social media and was talking about how the governors in Italy were handling the situation. I mean, it got them, they were saying also, you know, they were very, what's the word now? Very firm with people. So there are no politically correct language. Oh, please stay at home to keep yourself. They were cussing them out. If I find you, like some of them will say, if I find you on the road,
death,
so that's what I'm saying.
I've not seen that's why. That's for people we don't get to that point.
That's it.
Nigerians, if we see that people are dying,
so we're waiting. It seems that Nigerians have not seen that. They don't understand that, and they would say to you, that's happening in other countries. So maybe when this, I see the videos that our governors put out. So you have them there in quarantine. I'm doing well, I'm singing, and, you know, so people are thinking, well, it's not a big deal. So if I have it, I just stay home and chillax a bit.
Take this final call from Muyiwa. Muyiwa, are you there? Muyiwa, are you still there? I think we lost our call. Yes.
So I was one of those that felt this is not a black man's disease. There's no black person that has died. As in, I said it, I'm sure people that heard me say it, they would remember today. Because I was one of those that did not believe it cannot survive in Nigeria. The weather is too hot here. No black person, oh, Mariam, you are overreacting. This is not a big deal. I was one of those that was saying it. And I was wondering, why are we overreacting? Why is the government saying we have received test kits? But the moment when I saw that not only did the Italian guy bring it, a black person contacted it, because I bought into that conspiracy theory that no black person has died from it, until we now heard a Nigerian died abroad from it. See, you don't want to wait until your relative is dying, you know, so let's do what we can to protect ourselves. Let's not wait until it becomes really into our faces.
All right, on that note, we thank you very much, ladies. We have to wrap up now. But remember, again, in the bid to protect ourselves from this virus, please, please wash your hands as regularly as possible. Use your sanitizers, and maintain your social distancing. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.